Hi friends, I'm Emily Retro and Merry Early Christmas. I am unpacking all my Christmas stuff right now and this is my very first Christmas display, and since I'm in the unpacking process, I thought I would show you all the valuable vintage Christmas items that I have, share a little bit about them, and then you'll know what vintage Christmas items to look out for when you go to flea markets this year. Some of these items, depending on where they were made and what their age is, can be really valuable. We're gonna go in order of the most well-known vintage Christmas items that are worth money, and then going down to ones that might not be as popular and ones that are a little harder to find and not as common. So let's get to it. So I'm going to start with one of the more popular vintage valuable items, which are ceramic Christmas trees. So I have two vintage ones, and the one behind me actually isn't vintage at all. I made that. If you have like one of those ceramic clay places that you can go to, ours in Holland is called Paint-A-Pot, and they had these, and so I painted this with my mom during COVID times, and I actually really love it, and they had a special paint that was supposed to look vintagey, and I think it did a really good job. I think it looks quite vintage. And these are the only two vintage ones that I have. I found them both thrifting. This one has a light, this one does not, and I keep trying to figure out how I could put a light in there, but I think mostly it'll just be some type of LED candle that I can put underneath. But the light up ones can be worth quite a bit depending on when they were made. The older they are, generally the more expensive they are, and of course the ones that are really detailed and have really cool lights, like some of them will have like little bird lights, those ones are really popular and can be worth a lot of money. Okay, next one is another popular item that everyone is freaking out about and that they're making reproduction versions. This is vintage Santa mugs. I got an entire box of Santa mugs this summer at a flea market. If you watched that Burley Park one that I posted, I found this there and it was so exciting. Before this box, I only had two Santa mugs and then I had a few mini ones. Here's what the mini ones look like. They're so small. I love them. They're actually honestly my favorite, except this one. This is the one that I do have and I cherish it. It's so adorable. I have no idea why these mugs are so expensive, but interior designers are really obsessed with them. I know Liz Marie, she posts about these all the time, and I love them. I love collecting them, but they can be very expensive, and so I wait and buy them for like $1 a piece at a flea market. Next is the ever popular shiny bright ornaments. I definitely have a soft spot for these. I've talked about how much I love shiny bright ornaments before. My Oma and Opa, which is the whole reason that I love Christmas in the first place, they had a bunch of shiny bright ornaments that were passed down to me, and I really cherish those. If you're interested in like sappy nostalgic Christmas stories, I have a blog post about my own personal Christmas history and my love of my Oma and Opa and their special ornaments. I will link that blog post below, but these ornaments are not from my Oma and Opa. I actually found this box of ornaments at a thrift store, believe it or not. They had a Black Friday sale at the thrift store, and I got these, I think, for $5. Shiny Brights by themselves aren't necessarily worth as much money, but if you can find a box with all the ornaments, and then if it has cute packaging, it can be worth quite a bit of money. Also, the Shiny Brights have to be pretty cool looking. So there's ones that have like painted stripes on them, but then there's also ones that have like really beautiful designs inside, and those ones can be worth quite a bit. All these items that I'm talking about, I will have links below so you can check out how much they're worth or if you would like to buy something for yourself. Shiny bright ornaments are another item that is getting reproduced, and these Christopher Radko ornaments are really adorable. Honestly, I think they're just as cute as the original Shiny Bright ornaments. I know my aunt bought these for me. She got them at Home Goods, and then these Shiny Brights you can get online, and I will link some of these Shiny Brights below. They're very, very cute. These ones are miniature, and then these ones are pretty big. They're ginormous, and they look really beautiful on a tinsel tree. Another item that is really popular and being reproduced a lot are bottle brush trees. This is a vintage one that I have, and I love the vintage ones that have decorations on them already. Those are generally the ones that are worth the most. I actually have one that's in its original packaging, which is really cool. I keep the tree in there for decor. But these can be a little bit expensive I mean, you can buy brand new ones for very cheap, and I will link some vintage ones and then also some new ones below if you want to get some for yourself. I have, I don't know, probably at least 50 bottle brush trees because I like to make a little Christmas village, and I love seeing all these trees. They're very nostalgic for me. Next are vintage Christmas lights. I love vintage Christmas lights, but wow, they are really, really bad for your electric bill, and I know a lot of people are pretty worried that they could get their house caught on fire, but also they are so cute. Look at this display. Oh, I think I bought these at a flea market. I paid $15 for them, which was a pretty good deal for it to be in the original box. The box with the lights in it, they can be quite pricey on eBay, especially if you know it has really good packaging, really good colors, and if the lights work. You can buy strings of vintage lights like loosely without their original packaging for really cheap at thrift stores, but honestly, you'll pay like $2 for a string of them, and then when you plug them in, you're gonna pay a fortune in your electric bill, plus it's not eco-friendly at all. So I don't have these yet, but I really, really want them. There is a company called True Tone Bulbs, and they make lights that look just like these, and they have the same glow, but they're LED, which is saying something because I've looked for LED versions of these C9 lights and they look terrible. So the True Tone lights really look like they would work and look just like vintage ones, but they're a little expensive for me, so I'm kind of waiting. But they do say that they'll pay for themselves based on the amount of electricity you'll save, so I will link those below, and if you get them, let me know what you think of them. Girly candles are really cute. Girly is the brand that makes these, and generally the bigger they are, the more expensive they are, or you can buy a lot of them and they can be quite expensive. The vintage ones are really cute, and you can get them for pretty cheap. Like this one, I still have the price tag on it from a flea market. I paid $2 for this one. You can easily find them on eBay, and actually these have been reproduced. So like this choir boy, if you can see these right here, I have a set of 3 and a set of 3 over here, and these are reproductions. They are not actually vintage, and you can buy these like at Walmart, and I will link those below. But I never burn these because the characters themselves are so cute, and when they get melted, they're not nearly as cute. You know I have to talk about vintage blow molds. I love them, and they can be quite pricey, but I find that the Halloween ones are generally a little bit more expensive, especially if you shop for tabletop versions of blow molds. They can be pretty affordable. I did already do a video all about blow molds, the history of blow molds, why they're expensive, so I will link that video. Next up are putz houses. These are little cardboard houses that have cute little stained glass windows, and then there's holes in the back so that you can put Christmas lights inside, and then you can either like put them in your tree like ornaments, or you can have a little Christmas village. And this is what you put like bottle brush trees around. This is why I have so many bottle brush trees. Buying an individual putz house really isn't that expensive unless you buy it. Like this one is quite a bit bigger. The bigger ones can be worth more. But what I'm really talking about is you can buy a putz village in its original packaging. I don't own one. I'm dying to have one. And if you buy like the original village as is, they can be very expensive. If you have one or you buy one, I'm incredibly jealous. A Christmas village isn't complete without little village people, and these putz houses also have these little putz people. These in particular are little angels. There are big versions and then also teeny tiny little ones. I bought these ones at an antique store. I think I paid $5 a piece, but every time I see them at antique stores otherwise, they're like $15 a piece for this teeny tiny little thing. I did get these ones, these bigger ones at an antique store that was going out of business, and that was a pretty good deal. I also got this little skier. She's so cute. And then they also make these little pine cone people. So they look just like this, except they're made out of little pine cones. They kind of look like little elves. I will link these and then the little pine cone people below so you can know what I'm talking about. But actually, I'm planning on making these myself. And there's a blog post that I have about Christmas crafts, and I have that tutorial on there. So I will link to that, and I'm excited to make my own. Next are glass Christmas tree toppers, especially if they have their box. Okay, basically anything that's in its original box, it's going to be worth more money. And I also really like when it has its box because then I will use the tree topper itself on one of my trees, and then I will also decorate with the box. But beware, if you buy one of these, they are so fragile. I had one last year that I broke. So be careful. Now we've got collectible Santa decor. So there's a bunch of different kinds. This one is a flocked dancing Santa. He's got a cute little bell and he has a little pedestal that he gets to sit on. These ones are generally pretty affordable. I have a couple mini versions and then we're going to get a little more expensive. Then these are Rushton Company Santas. They've got kind of an ugly face. They're a little smushed and funny, but I don't know. They're like really kitschy and like ugly makes it cute. On his boot, it says made in Japan. And then this one is my personal favorite. It's a ceramic Santa piggy bank. And whenever I look this up, it says spaghetti on it. So I'm guessing that this little like fluff at the top and around his suit is a type of ceramic that's maybe like, it looks like spaghetti. So that's probably why it's called that. I saw this at an antique mall and I waited for it to go on sale and bought it. And now I have 2 of them. These ones are like 40 bucks online, but they're really, really cute. Then we've got vintage eggnog sets. The most well-known one is Tom and Jerry. Let's unpackage this. So I've got a bunch of eggnog mugs in here. I think there's maybe 10 mugs. And I love using this as decor. I don't like eggnog, but it's still really cute. And if you can find the whole set online, they are worth quite a bit of money. I actually found this at an estate sale. It was the very last day, and I think I paid $5 for it because it was really discounted. Nobody must have thought it was worth any money, I guess, but they definitely are. So if you see one and you see one that is a complete set, definitely get it. Now, those are the valuable items I own, but there's a lot of valuable items that I don't own. And so I wrote a blog post with the full list, including items that I don't personally have, but I really want. So I will link that blog post below. So do you have any of these items? What items are you looking for vintage Christmas? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, friends. Bye.